representatives from the Royal Grenada Police Force, Assistant Superintendent Sheldon Thomas, and Inspector Ryan Smith, representative from the Grenada Athletic Association, Ms. Dennis Williams, representative from the Grenada Olympic Committee, principals from secondary schools, sponsors of Intercol 2025, the media, student representatives from our secondary schools, coaches, representatives from the Intercol Organizing Committee. Good afternoon, and welcome to the media launch of the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary School Intercol Championship 2025. Intercol stands as Grenada's premier sporting event, capturing the passion and enthusiasm of our people. It is a stage where friendly rivalries among secondary schools are reignited, allowing both past and present athletes to relive cherished moments on the track. Too often, the true value of sports and athletics in students' lives is underestimated. We are here today because the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, in partnership with the Government of Grenada, recognize the transformative power of sports. This collaboration underscores our shared commitment to fostering athletic excellence, and we hope it will continue to grow for generations to come. The Intercol Games provide a platform for young athletes to showcase and refine their talents, serving as the foundation for future stars. Many of our nation's top athletes who have excelled regionally and internationally had their beginnings at Intercol. We believe that within our schools today, the next generation of champions is emerging. It is our collective responsibility to nurture and welcome them. As educators, we understand the profound impact sports have on students' development. Beyond physical fitness, sports instill discipline, focus, dedication, and teamwork, qualities that contribute to success both in academics and in life. Research shows that physical activity boosts serotonin levels, enhancing students' well-being and improving their ability to concentrate. Encouraging greater participation in sports is not just about competition, it is about shaping well-rounded, resilient individuals. The 2025 athletics season so far has generated tremendous excitement, with strong attendance at both the mini-meets and other track events since November 2024. This enthusiasm bodes well for the continued growth of athletics in Grenada and offers an excellent platform for athletes to shine. As we look forward to Intercol 2025, let us celebrate the spirit of competition, sportsmanship, and excellence. Wishing all athletes, coaches, and supporters a successful and safe championship. Thank you, and have a wonderful afternoon, everyone. Okay. So to continue, we will now invite Mr. Bernard Eversley George to invoke God present. Mr. George.
Good evening, everyone. We want to stand as we acknowledge God as our King, as our Savior, as our friend. But before we pray, we want to stand in solidarity for one of our secondary schools. They have a student that passed this week, so we want to have a minute of silence as we stand in solidarity. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for your goodness. We thank you for your mercies and your grace. Even as we come to have this session this evening, as we about to have our Intercol 2025, we pray, oh God, for your leading. We pray, oh God, as the athletes come to perform, we pray against harm, accidents, danger, everything that will come up against them. We pray, oh God, for these 3 days, oh God, of competition, that there will be fair. And God, our athletes, oh God, will perform at the very best. We lift the coaches before them. We thank you for our schools that's providing for them. We thank you for our sponsors. We thank you, oh God, for this evening, oh God, as we lift you up and we give you thanks that you are going to have your divine way and you are going to open up doors and you're going to provide and you're going to guide and you're going to do what you have to do this evening. So, Father, into your hands we lift this evening's proceedings before you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. And as I said, the playing of the national anthem, I cannot sing, so don't expect anything from me. Song system.
Grenada, land of us, we pledge ourselves to thee. Heads, hearts, and hands in unity to reach our destiny. Ever conscious of God, being proud of our heritage. May we with faith and courage aspire, build, advance as one people, one family. God bless our nation.
Okay, please be seated. So I now call Miss Samantha Antoine Posser to give some welcome remarks.
Continuing on the protocol of the members of the head table, following from the Minister, President, and Vice President of GAPS and GSSGA, governing bodies for this championship, the representatives from the Royal Grenada Police Force, our sponsors, teachers, principals, coaches, students, and we continue. Good afternoon. My task here is just to lighten the moment, allow you to relax, despite the fact that we sit in respective schools and we're from respective schools, to welcome you to what will turn out to be quite an historic championship. It is with great enthusiasm and pride that I welcome you to the official launch of the GAPS Intercol Championship 2025, Athletic Intercol Championship 2025. Indeed, Intercol is a celebration of talent, determination, and the power of sports to inspire and unite us. A little less on the unite when the 3 days actually come. Today marks the beginning of an exciting journey, one that will showcase the incredible athleticism and competitive spirit of our athletes from across the country, while fostering camaraderie and excellence across institutions. Intercol is indeed a noble institution in and of itself. It will be remiss of me, and again, I'm not attempting to call names because I am extremely young, proud of that. Bible says, do not despise thy youth, so I'm forever going to be young. But I have had the pleasure of working with some of the stalwarts, the likes of people like Mr. Victor Ashby, Mr. Dominic Jeremiah, Mrs. Glenda Mason Francis, Miss Madeline Batiste, and there are many more from the decades prior who I am pretty sure stand very proud in this moment to witness what Intercol has become. It is their efforts to grow the participation, the level of engagement of schools, inclusion of outer parish schools, outer parish principals, recruitment of sponsors, and a very determined thrust to create what is now the most viewed locally and possibly internationally sporting event in Grenada annually. Even the idea of live streaming has only been a thing of the most recent years. And I say that to say how far we've come in the organization, coordination, and delivery of a quality championship. In this 53rd year of this championship, we are happy to announce the improvements and enhancements that have been implemented to ensure that we continue to lift the standard that the championship brings and the level of exposure and experience for our athletes. So athletes, this championship is more than just competition. Many of you are in the room right now. It is an opportunity to rise, to challenge yourselves, and to create memories that will last a lifetime. Train hard, stay focused, and embrace the moment with passion and determination. To those who are not in the room, to our parents and guardians, your unwavering support is invaluable. Your encouragement and sacrifices pave the way for these young competitors to achieve greatness. Stand by them, cheer them on, and be their strongest motivation. The many days and nights of training, the cost involved in providing gear and support is tremendous. Do not be discouraged. We look forward to many more athletes breaking barriers on the international stage. So, dear teachers and coaches, many of whom are in the room right now, thank you for your commitment, for shaping our athletes, not just athletes, but well-rounded individuals. Your guidance, mentorship, and dedication play a crucial role in their success. We look forward to your supervision, encouragement, and due diligence in the days and weeks to come, and particularly in how you conduct yourselves over the 3 days of the championship. To our sponsors and partners, this championship will not be possible without your generous support. Your investment in youth development and sports is a testament to your belief in the potential of our young athletes. We appreciate your contributions and look forward to a continued partnership as we continually seek ways to grow the games and get the necessary returns from this championship right back into the schools and their sports program. Ultimately, the athletes remain our focus. And finally, to our spectators and supporters, those viewing online, and those in the room, because we all fall into that category, whether in the stands or following from afar, your enthusiasm fuels the excitement of this championship. Your cheers, encouragement, and support uplift our athletes and add to the electrifying atmosphere that will be felt by all at the Karani James Athletic Stadium. As we launch this championship in this year, 2025, let us celebrate the spirit of sportsmanship, perseverance, and unity. May this event inspire young athletes to reach for their dreams and remind us all of the power of dedication and teamwork. For yet another year, let the journey begin. I thank you. This is you. This is me. This is you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Spussel. It gives me great pleasure to give an overview of the Intercol Games 2025 to call none other than our chairman, Dr. Diane Abel Jeffrey, to make her remarks. Dr. Jeffrey.
I recognize the members of the head table, and I must make a special good evening, afternoon to our dear minister, Honorable Delma Thomas, and all the other members of the head table. I also recognize the representatives from the Royal Grenada Police Force who are also at the head table, and our representative from the Grenada Athletics Association, who is with us this afternoon, representative from the Grenada Olympic Committee, our principals from all of the secondary schools, our sponsors for this year's Intercol Championship, the media, the students, the coaches, representatives from the organizing committee, all other invited guests. Good afternoon. It is an honor to stand before you today as we gather for the media launch of the 53rd Intercol Championships. This event, which is organized by the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools through the Grenada Secondary Schools Games Association, holds a special place in the hearts of many, as it represents the pinnacle of secondary school athletics. Over the years, Intercol has been more than just a championship. It has been a stage for young athletes to showcase their talent, their determination, and school spirit, a testament of the enduring legacy of secondary school athletics in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Praise to the principals that have gone before us, who are the founding fathers of this event. The overarching theme of this year's Intercol, actually, is ensuring athletes' care. This reflects our commitment to athlete welfare and holistic development. The Intercol Games have long been a cornerstone of youth athletic development in Grenada. And it is more than just a competition. As I've said before, it is a showcase. It showcases the discipline, the talent, the resilience, and the school pride. And year after year, we witness the emergence of young athletes who go on to represent Grenada on the regional and international stage. This year, under the theme, Unleashing Potential, Defining the Future, we reaffirm our commitment to providing a platform where our student athletes can excel, push boundaries, and achieve their dreams. This theme encapsulates the spirit of the games, one of determination, excellence, and pride. And not just school pride here, but national pride, as you can see reflected even in our background. Now, the 2025, or the 53rd edition of the Intercol Championships is being made possible through a partnership with the government of Grenada, mainly. And of course, the many sponsors who continue year after year to contribute to this spectacular event. The championship will be held over 3 exciting days, with events strategically spread out to allow the students or the athletes sufficient rest and recovery between competitions. This scheduling ensures peak performance and reduces the risk of injuries, allowing our student athletes to give their best efforts on the track and on the field. The 2025 Intercol Games will be held, or will be featured, those 3 days will feature intense competition across those multiple track and field events. And the championships Technical Director, Mr. John L. Mitchell, who will be joining us online. Unfortunately, he cannot be here with us in person, but he's here with us virtually. He will speak more about the specific aspects, the technical aspects of the event. As we continue to enhance the experience for both athletes and spectators, I am pleased to announce some new features for this year's edition. There is a commitment by TNR Communication, that's the communication company that we use, to facilitate a more enjoyable experience to spectators both at the venue and in the virtual space. Spectators will enjoy real-time results, not just in the virtual space, but also not just on the site, but in both places, event updates and replays. This addition will enhance the viewing experience, keeping the audience informed and engaged throughout the championships. Thanks to the generous support of the Investment Migration Agency, IMA, the championships will be broadcast live at no cost to the patrons. However, we encourage viewers to contribute generously so that more can be given back to our schools for the development of their sporting programs. This, in turn, increases their potential to produce more world-class athletes like Kirani James, Anderson Peters, Alan Francic, Lyndon Victor, Randy Lewis, Patricia Sylvester, Hazelyn Regis, and Alison George. We can have much more of them, but we need to improve the preparations of our athletes. We need to, in order to improve the product so that we set the stage for them to go further. So we're kindly asking, even though we're not going to charge you, but feel deep into your heart that we are in need of that extra support. Hydration and athlete support continues to be dear to us. So our commitment to athlete wellness remains strong. And with Glenelg Spring Water, as the official bottled water provider, and also Powerade from the Grenada Bottling Company, they will be supporting the hydration needs of our athletes. Flow and our other media partners will ensure that this event, our other media partner will be TNR, of course, will ensure that this event reaches a wider audience, bringing the thrill of Intercol in every household. And let me just backtrack. We will also be going through GIS and GBN. So these are also our partners in this. In terms of security, because this is always a concern, in collaboration with the Royal Grenada Police Force, we have put together a comprehensive security plan to ensure a safe and enjoyable experience for all. Now, you have heard what's in store, some of what is in store, because we cannot tell you all. You have to come to the event to experience. If you are able to come, we encourage you to come in person and experience the thrill of these 3 days of Intercol. If you are unable to come in person, we encourage you to log in and view online. And we encourage you to make the contributions, because there will be a contribution button for you to do so. Now, in terms of the pricing, for the Intercol Games. For those eager to experience the excitement of the 53rd edition of the Intercol Championships, which is this year is called the GAPS Intercol 2025. And again, I reiterate that it is being done in collaboration with the government of Grenada. So we are very grateful for this level of partnership, the level of investment that the government has put into this. And they have done so through the other entities like the National Lotteries Authority, and the IMA, of course, is also part of that collaborative partnership that we're speaking here of. So because of that, we're able to plan and we're anticipating an excellent execution of this 53rd edition of Intercol. The tickets will be going on sale as of this evening, this afternoon from 3. Tickets will be available online. And I will get down to that in a little while after I share with you the pricing for the tickets. So we'll start with the main pavilion. The main pavilion on day 1 will be $20. And that's a seat. All right, $20. Day 2, $25. Day 3, $35. You can buy a season pass. If you are certain that you are coming for the 3 days, you can buy a season pass for $60. The secondary pavilion, day 1, $10, day 2, $15, and day 3, $25. The bleachers, day 1, $5, day 2, $10, and day 3, $15. A season pass is available for $25. Children under 12, all days will pay $5. TAMCC students can buy a season pass for $30. And we are doing some special areas this year, closer to the finish line, where you would have upper pavilion A, upper pavilion B, lower pavilion A, lower pavilion B. So, upper pavilion A will be $55 each day. Upper main pavilion, that's I should say. Upper main pavilion B will be $50 each day. So let me repeat. Upper main pavilion A, $55. I'm not sure if it's that I said the first time. So that's why I'm repeating. $55. Upper main pavilion B, $50. Lower main pavilion A, $45 per day. Lower main pavilion B, $40 per day. No season tickets for those areas. And they are limited. So if you want to get the best view in the house, you need to purchase your ticket as early as possible. Remember, I said that the tickets will be going online as of this afternoon from 3. They will be available on GoToFet and at Grenadian Optical. And patrons must have a valid email address in order to make those purchases, those online purchases. Further to that, the in-hand tickets, the physical tickets, will be available as of the 28th of March. And they will be available from Grenadian Optical as well as in schools throughout. As I come almost to the close, I want to extend a special thank you to our main sponsor, the government of Grenada. We also say thanks to Classic Lighting Caribbean for sponsoring the March Past event. That's an initiative that was introduced last year that was warmly welcomed by spectators and participants alike. In addition, we recognize and appreciate the generous contributions of various school sponsors who have made it possible for the schools to cover the costs of preparing and bringing the athletes to compete in these championships. Their support is instrumental in fostering the growth of young athletes and the continued success of the Intercol Games. The success of the Intercol Games would not be possible without the support of all the valued sponsors. Their investment, or your investment, in youth development and sports excellence is commendable, and we are deeply grateful for the partnership. So let me just highlight our sponsors so far. We have the Government of Grenada through the Ministry of Sports and National Lotteries Authority. They are our main sponsors. They ensure that the continued growth of this event would continue through the 3 days of Intercol. Investment Migration Agency, IMA, is one of our platinum sponsors who will be making the live broadcast of the championships possible. We are very grateful because we've heard the cries of people. Although the live streaming, which was pay-per-view, was not for locals, but at the same time, we understand that there were some people who were still not able to access the live broadcast. So we are very grateful for that opportunity to bring it to them and to all our scouts who are out there scouting for the talents that are among us. We are able to bring it to them free of cost, but of course at a cost. Flow, again, is another platinum sponsor who is our network partner who would ensure the seamless media and connectivity support. This year we will have KFC and Pizza Hut as a platinum sponsor, bringing whatever they can to enhance or to support the enhancement of the sport for the 3 days. The Carib Brewery through Star Malt, the Star Malt brand, is a gold sponsor. George F. Huggins through Fruta and Lucozade, gold sponsor. Glenelg Spring Water, the official bottled water, to keep our athletes hydrated. Bryden and Miners, Bermudez Biscuits, bronze sponsor. Wagiti Rental and Sound Company, bronze sponsor. Grenada Bottling Company, I think, did I mention before? Right? And Blue Bubbles. So these are our sponsors, and we are very, very, very grateful that you have come on board with us, and I believe that you deserve a round of applause. So I have one last task, and that is to make an appeal to parents and also to patrons. So we want to ensure that our students respect the rules. It is a school day, or these are school days because it's 3 days. These are school days. We expect that our students will remember the rules that they have to follow while they are in school. We also expect that our students will be law-abiding citizens. So even the specific rules that we do not have in school, there are laws governing behaviors. And we expect that our students will adhere to the laws to ensure that they do not engage in any unlawful behaviors during those 3 days. So we are making an appeal to you parents to help us to instill in the students the values that we continue to teach them at school. And I know that you parents are teaching them at home too. And together, if we continue to reinforce, if we continue to emphasize that they need to behave well, irrespective of where they are, they may just listen. We want our children to be safe. As I have said at the beginning, it's a celebration. It is not just a competition. It is a celebration. And we want harmony, so there should be sportsmanship. We don't expect that our students will fight. We expect that if there is some conflict, that it can be ironed out amicably. The police will be there, the principals and the teachers will be there, so students can lean on these authorities for support. Let us work together to create an environment where our young athletes can thrive both on the track and on the field. When we engage in those inappropriate behaviors, they affect everything. They affect the overall games. And of course, when that happens, it affects the students that are participating in the games. And additionally, I'm making an appeal again for patrons to please understand that this is a very costly, extremely costly undertaking. And so, we ask you to continue to give us whatever support you can give. There is still space for additional sponsors. So we will welcome additional sponsors. The days to cover the revenue, to cover the costs, the revenues that we collect on the third day cannot cover the expenses of 3 days. And this is something that people need to understand. The third day is filled with patrons. But the first and the second day, we have very few. And the cost for all 3 days remain the same. Very exorbitant costs. We have to feed all our volunteers, and we don't want to get into this because it's a lot we could see. But we just want to take the opportunity this afternoon because there are many times that people do not know, they do not understand what it is like to execute such a game of that magnitude. And because of that, we get a lot of negative backlash. So we are saying to you, patrons out there, we need your support. We need your support for the 3 days of Intercol. And all of the days are packed with exciting activities. The first and the second days, we would have the classic lighting march past. And of course, the first day, we would have a very exciting opening ceremony. And of course, a lot of events will be taking place on those days. The last day, we would have the closing ceremony. So come and experience. We also ask the patrons who would not be able to come, again, contribute generously to this cause. So as we embark on this journey towards an unforgettable edition of the GAPS Intercol Championship 2025, which will be held in collaboration with the government of Grenada, I encourage all participating schools, athletes, coaches, and supporters to embrace the spirit of competition with passion and sportsmanship. Let us celebrate the hard work, dedication, and dreams of our young athletes, knowing that they are the future of Grenadian sports. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing all of you who are here and all of you who are out there listening at this time or who would listen later to come experience the thrill of Intercol 2025. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Jeffrey. As we said previously, the director of our games, Mr. Mitchell, who is responsible for the technical aspects, is not with us physically, so we'll now go online to listen to some of his remarks. Are we ready? So please give your attention to the big screen. But it's not so big, a small one. I'm not hearing anything.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Just kindly indicate as to whether or not you're hearing me clearly.
Yes, we're hearing you now.
Thank you. Honorable Delma Thomas, Minister for Sports, Chairman of the Principals Association, and likewise the Chair of our organizing committee, Dr. Abel Jeffrey, and principals and other members of the organizing committee, members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, other members of the head table, sponsors, President of the Grenada Olympic Association, Mr. Bernard Wilson, representatives from GAA, teachers, coaches, athletes, media, those who are present in the room, and likewise viewing online, good afternoon. It seems though it is like a habit now, whenever Intercol is launched, some way or the other, I find myself out of the island, but somehow connecting with you. Now, as the chair indicated, I am the director of your games for the 3-day period, and I must admit it's been a pleasure directing the games for the last 3 years, or more than 3 years actually, last couple of years. But actually being a part of these events, I have witnessed the growth of our Intercol championships and the quality that it brings. Over the 3-day period, April 8th, 9th, and 10th, we anticipate some 90 events, 90. Last Intercol, we had 88. For this one, we have introduced the 400 meters hurdles for the sub-junior category. So that's where we get these 2 extra events, 1 male, 1 female. We have continued to grow and look at our events over the years, and it's been informed by changes that happen around us. If you notice, for example, this year at our national championships, there was the introduction of the decathlon. But no, we're not introducing that event at our Intercol games this year, but I'm just basically stating some of the things that we've noticed, and all of that may and they will definitely inform the direction we take in years to come. Additionally, we want to continue in the vein of supporting our students with special needs. And again, we will see them participating in some events throughout the days of Intercol. Now, importantly, and it is important that coaches, athletes, and patrons, you do understand the need for timely start and timely finish. We have 3 days of competition, and we want to ensure that our students, our athletes are well taken care of. They are well rested, because one of the mantras, one of the main themes in our games is care for athletes. We do anticipate a 9 a.m. start daily, and by 5:36 thereabout to complete our events. Now, it is rather important that we do so. We take into consideration the fact that we have many of our teams and supporters who are traversing from far, and they do have to get back home in a timely manner. So we want to ensure that we begin our games on time and we also finish on time. Now, moving forward with that timely start, it is important, and I'm going to pause here to make a very special appeal to our patrons. You play a significant role in the completion of our games in a timely manner, especially when it comes to that final day. We do find that throughout that final day, the number of people in the in the stands, spectatorship, it's great. It's in the thousands. And there are so many different instruments that are used to create music and to create the kind of atmosphere that bring life to the games. While yes, it is really appreciated, we want to make a very special appeal to you that at the beginning of our events, especially our track events, it is important that you understand your role here, that there must be a great level of silence, quietness, so that the athletes would be able to hear the commands from the starter. Because failure for them to do so, it will put the athletes at a disadvantage. And additionally, every time we have to pause or wait, it pushes us back to a 5 minute or 10 minute. And every 5 or 10 minutes or so impacts our start and the finish time. So we do make that special appeal. Over the 3 days, we will have exciting events. We have events in all of the categories over the 3 days and in all of the different disciplines. So on each day, you're going to get 100s, 200s, 400s, 800s. We will have in the hurdles, all the events, discus, javelin, long jump, high jump. Each day we have a spread. So some of you who choose to only come on the final day, you may find yourself missing out on some of the most exciting events. For example, if you look to what transpired with our under 20 boys, we do anticipate that event is going to generate great interest. So we're going to say to you, please ensure that you are there every single day to participate and to experience the excitement, as we do anticipate great times, great distances, and great performances with our athletes. We've seen a number of them throughout the season, and each meet we've seen improvements. Let's come cheer them on. The Intercol games, it's a games of high quality. And this is something you cannot argue with. And each year we continue to grow the games. We have some of the best, most experienced officials. Yes, we know that our officials have been given lots of licks over the years, but tell you what, despite that, we have officials who are at some of the best within our region. As a matter of fact, just hosting our character games last year, our officials were commended for the high levels of professionalism and their ability to execute the rules of the games in a rather efficient and effective manner. So I trust our officials, and I believe that they're going to carry the games through. And some of you might say, well, yes, they do make mistakes and there are errors, and we understand and we appreciate that. But there are channels that have been put in place to ensure that every athlete, because at the end of the day, the athletes who are performing on the day are the most important people. And we want to ensure that they have equal opportunities to perform at the highest level, ensuring that the playing field is level for all of them. So again, I am happy to be the one directing this year's Intercol Games. And as I've highlighted, we have some 90 events spread over the 3 days. We are now introducing the 400-meter hurdles, sub-junior, both male and female. And as we do so, we want you to continue to support our athletes, continue to give the best that you can, continue to encourage them. And the chair did make appeal to certain things, but one of the things I want us to be careful of and be mindful of, that's not my role here, but I also want us to remember that our athletes are also human beings, and they are young and they are vulnerable. So sometimes the comments that we hear going out there and being thrown at our athletes, I'm going to encourage us to kindly refrain. Those of you on social media, you say quite a bit. Those of you in the stands, you say quite a bit. And remember, these athletes have made sacrifices over the year. And this is one of the games where they get to highlight themselves and to give up the best. So let's encourage them to go out there and perform. Because remember, at the end of the day, they're representing the school. And not only the school, they're representing a family, they're representing themselves. And the bigger picture, they're representing us as a nation. So thank you very much. And it's always a privilege and a pleasure to be a part of our Intercol Games.
Thank you very much, Director Mitchell. You spoke about the efforts of the athletes. I also want to speak about the effort of the schools and clubs who takes the responsibility to prepare these athletes. I'm making an appeal to the business community out there that we really need your support to run our athletics program. It's extremely expensive, and please do not wait until the athlete become a world champ or Olympic champ to come on board. We're asking you to come on board since now because support at the grassroots level is extremely important. I would call on the representative from the Royal Grenada Police Force to give us an idea of the security plan for the games for 2025. Because, as I said before, I'm very concerned about this year's Intercol, and I will tell you why. Something telling me, Minister Thomas, that the stadium would be too small. So start thinking about expansion since now. Yes.
Honorable Delma Thomas, Minister for Youth and Sports, executive members of the Grenada Association of Principals of the Secondary Schools, principals and teachers, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. The Royal Grenada Police Force recognizes the significance of these Intercol Championships, a highly anticipated event that fosters camaraderie and healthy competition among the various secondary schools. Therefore, we are committed to ensuring that the event is held without any major incident. We have developed a comprehensive security plan, which includes traffic arrangement, emergency plan, and a policy on prohibited items. Security for the games over the 3 days will be provided by the RGPF along with private security firms. To ensure command of the games, we will establish a venue operating center, which will be in the main pavilion and will be commanded by a senior superintendent over the 3 days. To ensure security at the games, the RGPF will focus on some of these areas, will ensure public safety throughout the games. Officers will be placed in different areas, the pavilions, the bleachers, to address issues of the breach of law and misbehaviors. To maintain free access to and from the championship, to facilitate the free flow of traffic, we will implement strategic road closures as well as designated parking and no parking areas for the traffic. Maintain law and order outside and inside of the stadium. We know that common offenses include disorderly behavior, illegal drugs, offensive weapons, and such. We will have a zero tolerance policy for offensive weapons and illegal drugs. Arrests will be made for breaches of the law. Be mindful of that. We will also focus on providing effective crowd control. Officers will be deployed both inside and outside of the stadium, and mind you, we will have adequate officers. The minister was asking me if we have sufficient officers, and I did guarantee a yes. So we'll have officers inside and outside of the grounds to allow for adequate security to ensure that the games proceed smoothly. In addition, we will provide effective traffic control for all 3 days, from the start of the games to the end. We know that sometimes at the end, the traffic does be very congested and people will be struggling to go home. We advise people to follow the guidelines, follow the no parking areas. Please do not park there. And once you do, I'll guarantee you that the traffic would be flowing smoothly. Part of our goal will be also to detect and prevent crimes at the venues. I assure you that the officers that you see in uniforms will not be the only one at the venue. We will have officers in plain clothes, both inside and outside, and their goal will be to observe and detect breaches of the law. So we will provide very, very tight security. Another area is to ensure that security at the gates. We want to ensure that no one enters the stadium with offensive weapon, drugs, breakable bottles, or glasses. We advise persons with licensed firearm that you should not enter the ground with it. If you do, it will be taken from you at the gate. So we encourage you to secure it before you come to the games. And we do encourage persons, please do not enter the stadium with prohibited items. We will also have a quick response team on standby to address emergencies. So if something happens at the games, we will have officers on standby to address those cases of emergencies. The RGPF is committed to providing adequate security for the games throughout the 3 days. We will take in all necessary measures to ensure that everyone in attendance feels safe. We look forward to working along with the organizing committee for a successful staging of this year's games. I did mention that we will have a detailed traffic plan to ensure that the traffic flows smoothly. Inspector Ryan Smith, who is from the traffic department, I would invite him now to give some details as to the traffic arrangement for those days. Thank you.
Thank you, SB Thomas. Mr. Chairman, I crave your indulgence to stand on the protocol already established. In order to ensure that we have a free flow of traffic for the Intercol 2025, we have developed a comprehensive traffic plan. I will now outline the plan to you. Now, all vehicular traffic entering the National Stadium would use the Queen's Park Ring Road from its intersection with Cherry Hill or the Humbug Bridge. No entry sign. Vehicular traffic will not be allowed in the following areas: Old Fort Public Road from its junction with Lucas Street, Cemetery Hill from its junction with Church Street, the Ring Road from its junction with Monkrush Public Road to the direction of the Humbug Bridge. VVIP will be allowed to park on the concrete area in front of the Kirani Athletic Stadium. The media, police officers, and officials of the games will be allowed to park in the grass area to the left side of the concrete area. The general public will be allowed to park in Gate 6 in the vicinity of the cricket net area and also the West Village ground. The no parking zones. No parking will be allowed in the following areas: on either side of the road: Melville Street from the Fish Market to the crematorium, L'Aqua Crematorium; Queen's Park Road from its junction with River Road to Cherry Hill; River Road from Puzzle Lumber Yard to the roundabout close to L'Aqua Brothers Crematorium; Monkrush Public Road from its junction with the Ring Road; the National Stadium main entrance, Public Way from Greenbridge, the main entrance to the National Stadium. The emergency route to the stadium would be Cemetery Hill, Old Fort, Local Street, Church Street, and onto the General Hospital. Vending. Persons will only be allowed to vend in the area, on the seaside of the main public road along the Western Main Road. No vending will be allowed along Queen's Park Road from Greenbridge to the main entrance of the National Stadium or any area in the vicinity of the National Stadium. On the conclusion of the games, River Road, Public Road will be turned into one-way by placing a no entry sign where Motley Hill and River Road Public Road intersect. So anyone desirous of accessing town will now have to make a left turn up Motley Hill onto Observatory Road and exit onto Local Street. Also, persons that are on hire and transporting athletes to the games will now have to use Gate 6. That is the area behind the cricket stadium where the practice pitches are located. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Thomas and Mr. Smith. So we're moving on with the program. I now call on a representative from the Ministry of Education. Right, we don't have anyone here, so we'll move on to our most esteemed Minister of Sports. All right, okay, good. Just a correction here. We have a representative from the Ministry of Education, none other than the Honorable Tessa McQuicken.
Thank you, Chairman, for this warm welcome. I accept the title Honorable. Prediction. Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Delma Thomas, Chairman of the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools, Dr. Dan Abel Jeffrey, representative from different entities, key stakeholders, members of the media, principals, athletes, coaches, well-wishers, I bid you a pleasant afternoon. The Ministry of Education is indeed honored to be associated with the launch of this prestigious meet, which is held under the theme, Ensuring Athletes' Care, Unleashing Potential, Defining the Future. The ministry underscores the positive impact that sports plays in the lives of our students and reiterates its commitment to the all-round development of every student. The Intercol Games, without a doubt, has unleashed the athletic abilities of students as they compete year after year in friendly rivalry, and continues to create avenues for furthering academic achievement. For this, the Ministry of Education credits all stakeholders, including GAPS, coaches, principals, who play a part in the success of the Games. As we prepare to stage the 53rd Intercol Games, may we all remember that we all play a part in ensuring athletes' care. We all play a part in unleashing their potential, which will help in determining their future. May this year's Games be one that will forever be etched in our minds, and may future Olympians be born. Rest assured that the Ministry of Education pledges its support to this staging of the Games and look forward to the excitement the tension, broken records, and a successful, incident-free 2025 Games. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, it's very good to make prediction, as I said before. In the not too distant future, some change will be coming. Right, to continue, it's given me great pleasure to call our most esteemed Minister of Sports, the Honorable Delma Thomas, to make some remarks. Mr. Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the head table, principals, sponsors, teachers in the room, athletes, students, athletes, members of the media, specially invited guests, a pleasant good afternoon, one and all. It is really a pleasure to be here at this very important launch. But before I go into Intercol, I want to commend the principal at the Western Corridor for a very impressive athletic session yesterday. I want to commend you and to say to the principal of the Eastern and the other corridors that you should be prepared so that in 2026, especially the Eastern Corridor, where Progress Park will be lighted by the next season, that we should have our own sports with the secondary schools in that corridor, and we, as a government, will provide support. As I said, it's an absolute pleasure to stand here before you today as we officially launch Intercol 2025, a competition that continues to be the pinnacle of youth athletics in Grenada. This annual event is more than just a series of track and field competitions. It is a celebration of discipline, resilience, and the boundless potential of our young athletes. This year, I am proud to announce that the government of Grenada, in collaboration with the National Lotteries Authority, is the major sponsor for the Intercol 2025. This significant investment reaffirms our unwavering commitment to sports development, youth empowerment, and the creation of opportunities for young people to excel on the national and international stage. I want to say that government, through the National Lottery Authority, is committing $300,000 for the games, and that will be broken down. I want to say that we, apart from the other things that will be paid, we will be paying the winning schools, so the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. So it's 10,000, 8,000, 6,000, 4,000, and 2,000 for the fifth position. So that's one commitment on government's part. But I also like to announce that we have also secured, so apart from this 300,000 that includes the one set, we have also secured $30,000 from a private investor who will pay the schools. So for example, in one section, so let's say for example, through us we pay the male division, then that other entity will pay the female division. But I also want to say that we are giving the schools to go back to the athletes, and we are doing all the other things. But we will have a special to unveil on the opening ceremony itself, where we will be acknowledging the championships, the individual championships. So I'm not giving you any details here because we have not finalized the details, but the details will be announced at the opening ceremony on the first day of Intercol. We recognize as a government that sports is not just about competition. They are a powerful vehicle for personal and national development. Through Intercol, we see future Olympians, world champions, and outstanding citizens who embody the values of hard work, determination, and excellence. That is why our administration is dedicated to strengthening sports infrastructure, investing not only in the secondary school games, because we are here launching Intercol, which is a secondary school game. But we, as a government, we are looking in 2025 and beyond to at the primary level, where we will be investing in all the different fields, so athletics, cricket, and football, but even at the level of the grassroots, so the community level. And that is why we are lighting more playing fields. We are dealing with the infrastructural development of playing fields, and even looking at maintenance, because too many times we invest thousands, and in some instances, millions of dollars in those facilities, and then we leave them to be in a state of disrepair. As a government, we are committed to providing that particular maintenance across our tri-island state of Grenada, Carriacou, and Pidi Martinique. Intercol has always been a stage where raw talent meets opportunity. It is where dreams begin, where records are broken, and where we witness the passion and dedication of our student athletes. This year, we are anticipating an even greater level of competition, sportsmanship, and national pride. And as the chairman said, we expect people to come out in their numbers to support, and maybe we need to extend a little outside. But I'm encouraging the population to be part and parcel and support. As parents, we have to support our children. So I expect mothers and fathers and community members and even the businessmen and women to support this very important initiative. Because, you know, we are proud when Anderson and Kurani and Lyndon, Afi and the others, when they perform on the international level, we support them. And, you know, we are very happy as Grenadians, and we come out in our numbers. But in order for us to have more of people like Lyndon, Anderson, Afi, and the likes in the other, so not only athletics, so today we're talking athletics, but we want to look at the other sporting discipline. And we want to be investing. So as a government, we are committed to investing, but we're also calling on the private sector to assist us in those investments so that we can celebrate more athletes, more cricketers, more footballers at that national
Presenting
level.
the official logo of
athletes,
the Grenada
this is your
Association of
time to
Principals
shine.
of Secondary
Give it your
Schools
all.
Intercol
Push be
Championships.
on your
A
limits.
symbol of speed,
and remember
strength,
that you are
and
not just
school
running
spirit.
for medals,
At the
but for
forefront,
the future.
two dynamic
To
runners.
the coaches,
One in
teachers,
vibrant
parents,
red and
we
yellow,
thank you for your
the
tireless
other
support and encouragement.
presenting
And to our
the
sponsors,
official logo of the Grenada
I want to
Association of
highlight the
Principals,
National Lottery Authority, which
presenting
we have
the
as a government
official
used for many of our sporting initiatives. Whenever a sporting club or an organization comes to us, when we do not have it at the government level, we look to Lotto. And I want to
the official
recognize
logo
you.
of the
You are doing
Grenada
excellent as it
Association
relates
of
to sports
Principals
development in
of
Grenada.
Secondary
Take a bow,
Schools,
and we
Intercol
look forward to more
Championships.
partnership.
A symbol of speed,
As we count down to Intercol
Presenting.
2025, let us rally behind our young athletes, celebrating their achievements and ensuring that this year's game are the most memorable and successful games that we have seen. So I look forward to Intercol 2025. I'll be in my neutral colors with a little blue on the side. So all the best to all the schools, and I encourage our athletes to continue to work hard. We love you, and we look forward to seeing great things from you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. And we are fully aware that for many years, we know that the Intercol Championship is only second to champs in Jamaica. But we should not satisfy just remaining second. I think it's time that we start challenging champs in terms of the level of competition and the quality of our athletes. So we move on. This year, you realize that we don't have, for many years, we always had a sponsor from the private sector. So this year, we are working with the government of Grenada, And because of this, we have an official logo. So we now move on to the unveiling of the official logo.
Presenting the official logo of the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools Intercol Championships, a symbol of speed, strength, and school spirit. At the forefront, two dynamic runners, one in vibrant red and yellow, the other in bold green and gold, capturing the energy, the passion, and determination of our young athletes as they race toward victory. The slick motion lines behind them signify speed, competition, and the relentless pursuit of excellence, hallmarks of the Intercol Championships tradition. The bold, modern typography reflects the unity and organization behind this prestigious event, with Intercol standing strong as the heart of secondary school athletics in Grenada. This logo embodies the spirit of competition, teamwork, and national pride, celebrating the legacy of Intercol Championships, where champions are made and history is written.
So if you look at the logo, you see red, you see yellow, you see green, but you realize the colors what Intercol marking is blue. I don't find that was coincidence, Dr. Jeffrey. Right, I will now call on the principal of St. Joseph Convent, St. George's, Mrs. Jill Viveg, to give us some closing remarks as well as the vote of thanks.
Dr. Diane Abel Jeffrey, President of the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools and Chairman of the GSSGA, Mr. Carl Andel, the Deputy President and our eloquent chairperson, Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Delma Thomas, representatives from the Royal Grenada Police Force, representative from the Grenada Athletics Association, representative from the Grenada Olympic Committee, principals from our secondary schools, sponsors of Intercol 2025, the media, student representatives from all our secondary schools, coaches from our secondary schools, representatives from the Intercol Organizing Committee, media personnel, everyone who is present here this afternoon and listening online, good afternoon to you. It is a privilege to deliver closing remarks and expressions of gratitude this afternoon at this very exciting launch. I have been attending launch for a few years, and I look around and the air is different. The feel is different. Do you feel it? It's a different feeling. It's a new beginning, and I am honored to be here to say thank you to all persons who are contributing to that feeling. As we officially launch the Intercollegiate Athletics Championship, it's a true testament of the power of sports in shaping our youth, fostering unity, and promoting excellence. First and foremost, to God be the glory. Great things he has done. We acknowledge his goodness and countless blessings, evident here this afternoon. I extend our deepest gratitude to the government of Grenada for sharing the vision of the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools through your generous sponsorship of this championship. Your investment in athletics speaks volumes of your commitment to youth development. It is an investment in our future, ensuring that our young athletes have the platform to showcase their talents, push their limits, and represent our nation with pride. To the other sponsors, we value your support and appreciate your partnership. The Investment Migration Agency, FLOW, National Lottery Authority, KFC, Carberry Limited, Blue Bubbles, Grenada Bottling Company Limited, George F. Huggins, Glen Elk Spring Water, Bryden and Miners, Waggity Rentals and Sound Company, and might I dare say anybody else who's coming on board. We really thank you for seeing what we're trying to do here and helping us to improve the standards and the levels of the games. A special word of thanks to the Ministry of Sports and the Ministry of Education for their continuous dedication to the advancement of sports. Your commitment has played a vital role in nurturing talent and inspiring the next generation of champions. Thanks to the National Sports Council, through the St. George Parish Sports Council, for the use of its office space to host the Intercol Secretariat for 2025. Thank you for affording us this courtesy. For this afternoon's program, I extend gratitude to all persons who have contributed to making it such a successful and memorable one. To Mr. Andal for chairing this afternoon, Mr. Bernard George for the opening prayer, invoking God's presence, the welcome address, and lightening the mood, Mrs. Samantha Antoine Purcell, our dear chairman, Dr. Diane Abel Jeffrey, and might I say congratulations, Dr. Jeffrey. Thank you for sharing insights into this year's Intercol Games and providing us with so much information. To the director of the games, Mr. John L. Mitchell, thank you for being so meticulous, thank you for being so organized, and thank you for being so clear in your delivery. We appreciate you. To the members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, who deliver the security plan and traffic arrangements, your role is critical in the success of our events. We value our students, we value our children, and it is important that we make sure that they are safe throughout the 3 days. To Ms. McQuilkin for representing the Ministry of Education, thank you for your remarks. To Honorable Minister Delma Thomas for emphasizing and reiterating the government's commitment to supporting Intercol and youth development in Grenada. We thank you so very much, and we recognize that you are in touch with what is happening. So we thank you for being grounded. For the persons who designed the logo, we appreciate you. I'm sorry I don't have your name, but it's an excellent logo and it represents us as Grenadians. So thank you very much. Whoever you are, we appreciate the time and effort put into designing the logo. TNR Communications, thank you for allowing us to be heard outside of this space. Thank you to the technical team who is providing that service today. To the organizing committee, officials and volunteers, your hard work and meticulous planning have made this event possible and the events of the 3 days to come, or Intercol Games. Your dedication behind the scenes ensures that everything runs smoothly, allowing our athletes to focus on performing at their best. To our coaches, teachers, mentors, thank you for your guidance, the discipline that you instill in our students, and the encouragement that you give them. You are shaping not just great athletes, but also responsible and resilient individuals. To the athletes, today marks the beginning of an exciting journey. Your passion, determination, and sportsmanship remind us all of the true spirit of competition. We salute your dedication and we wish you the very best as you prepare to give your all on the track and field. To the supporters, parents, spectators, your encouragement fuels the dreams of our young athletes. And I recall the words of Mr. Mitchell just earlier, asking persons to be mindful of their comments and encouraging them to give positive words to our athletes. And I endorse that because it takes a lot of effort. It takes weeks and years of training and commitment for them to be on the tracks. And then when they're on the tracks, they have to calm their nerves to be there. So let's encourage them. We continue to cheer them on, and we pray and we hope that they would become Olympic athletes in the very near future. It would be remiss of me if I do not say thank you to the Republic Bank, the sponsors of many years prior to this year. I want to say thank you to Republic Bank for sponsoring the games over the past few years. We appreciated your partnership, and we thank you for sharing the vision of the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools. I would also like to express gratitude to the management and staff of the Grenada Trade Center. Without the support of Mr. Bido and his staff, and not just today, in many of the things that the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools do, and other secondary schools, other schools, they are very supportive. So we really appreciate Mr. Bido and his staff and his team for extending courtesies to the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary Schools. So I thank you very much for your attendance, everyone, this afternoon. And may Intercol, may the Grenada Association of Principals of Secondary School Intercol Championships be a grand success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Philbert, for saying thank you. Right, so we now move on to item 12 on the program. The last few years, we always entertained questions from the media regarding Intercol in the year in question. So we're about to entertain questions from the media or anyone in the audience. So this is the time starting now. Do you have any questions or any queries regarding Intercol 2025?
Questions, queries, yes, I do. Forgive me, I'm still trying to get over the flu. So the voice sounds a bit husky. I'm desperately interested, and I must say thanks to the last speaker, that she made mention of Republic Bank and their partnership, and that is kosher as well. Over the last couple of years, I was hoping that maybe we could have a conversation as to what is it has happened, or is it that there's a changing of the guard? We have changed direction. Scotia Republic, are they no longer? Because when they came on board, we were given a commitment that spoke to longevity beyond what we've had. Can anybody speak to that for me as to why the change, or is it where we're heading with government? Is this the new permanent direction for Intercol?
Okay, so our chairman will give you an answer to this. Dr. Jeffrey?
Good afternoon once again. Before I answer, let me just recognize, although he's a part of the organizing committee, Mr. Damani Prison. You see the decor that we have here? Thanks to him. And let me also correct the IMA is a platinum sponsor. I believe I said it was a diamond, right? I said it was platinum, but it's diamond. Okay, which is higher than platinum. Okay, so now for the answer to your question, Mr. Kadu. Over the years, so we've started off with Intercol. I believe it was initially without a sponsor. Then came on board many years ago, Scotiabank. After Scotiabank stopped operating in Grenada, Republic Bank came on board in very recent years. I believe we had their sponsorship for about 3 or so years, subject to correction. It could be 4, but I believe it's 3, because there was a year that we did not have Intercol. What we need to understand is that we do not have a long-term contract with any of the sponsors. Our sponsorship goes from year to year. So in any given year, we can decide that we are not going along with the conditions or so. When we because we negotiate every single year. So based on the terms and conditions, if both parties cannot agree on those terms and conditions, then either could say, well, we do not want to continue this partnership for this year, or we do not want to take on this partnership for this year. So that is what has been happening over the years. It's not like we had a long-term relationship and then we broke it off.
So I might understand it is the Principals Association that has walked away. You were not satisfied with what the institution was offering? If so, what were some of those issues?
Okay, we will not say that the Principals Association walked away, that we were not satisfied. Let's just say that both parties could not have agreed on the terms and conditions for this year.
And I'm assuming that you're not in a position to discuss it openly.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'll take you up on that another place in time. Can you give me an appreciation of the cost to host Intercol? And here's the basic reason why I'm asking. I keep hearing the government minister made mention of 300,000 from government. There's other private entities on board, yet they continue. There are private entities that offer support to some of the schools. Yet we keep hearing that agonizing cry for more hands on deck, more hands on deck. Is it possible that has there ever been a study that has determined Intercol, the cost to produce Intercol is? Okay.
So the cost to, as I've said it, that it's an exorbitant cost without putting figures.
Exorbitant.
So last year, we had to spend over $500,000 to execute Intercol. And because we have this plan to improve every year and to give back to the schools, because for the first time last year, the figures that we've quoted here for the prizes, I believe that's the same figures that we used last year, that we paid out to the schools, right? So we wanted to have improvements. Because it's the schools that are actually making, apart from the execution of the games, but the schools are the ones that are producing the athletes. So we want to ensure that the schools can get just rewards. It's very expensive for the schools to bring, especially schools that are coming from far off. Carriacou, St. Patrick, St. Andrew, St. David, St. Mark, even St. John. These schools have to pay quite a lot to get down for 3 days. In addition to that, all of the schools have very, very, very high costs to train, to attire the students, to feed the students. Every single thing that we do, because we take care, we notice that our overarching theme is athlete care. It goes through every secondary school and not just at the Intercol games. So in order to do that, the schools have to spend a lot, many times what they do not even have. When we speak about schools getting sponsorship, and we're very appreciative of the sponsorship that we get, when we have a title sponsor coming on board, we really, really, really feel that we must, we treat them we probably do not even treat them in the way that we should treat them, but we really need to appreciate them because they are helping us to offset those costs, but they are only helping. They are not offsetting all of the costs for the teams to come to Intercol. So this is something that people have to understand. Now this year, we wanted to increase the prices. We wanted to give back more. Last year, we improved over the year before because we increased the prices and we paid up to 5th place in both males and females. So the schools got back quite a lot. But we believe that we can do much more. And we want to invest also in equipment and so on for schools. We're considering having prizes for the coaches because we appreciate the hard work that the coaches are doing. But we cannot get to that point as yet.
And I understand that. I have no issues with that. What I'm asking, and I was hoping you can say to me, have we ever sat down and established what is the figure? How much does it take? Get figures from the schools that says it takes St. Andrew's Anglican, whatever this is amount, and how close are we? Do we ever approximate that budget? After Intercol has ended, how much is the association left with the burden of Intercol? And that's what I'm asking. So at least if you give that information out there, because there's some individuals when they hear, well, we have to give this, we need more. Mm-hmm. The question that's been asked, but hold on, I just heard the government gave X, Y, and Z. And it's in that vein I'm asking the question.
So this is why we are so appreciative of the government of Grenada for this year. Because last year, for example, we had a surplus of 200 and, how much? And 64? I can't remember the exact figure, but it did not come up as much as $300. And let me add, that was a proud moment for us because that's the first time we operated with a surplus.
So you're hoping with government's intervention this year that the tides will turn?
We're hoping so. And we're hoping our biggest dream, the vision, is for the schools because that's where we want to invest. The students, the athletes, we want to invest in them so that we can build the product.
Anyway.
You know, also, Mrs. Jeffries spoke about, as well as the minister, first place of $10,000. This is not even a drop in the bucket where your expenses are concerned because we have to understand preparation starts in August. So most of the schools that are in the program, preparation started in August of 2024, and now we're in 2025. So obviously, if you get $10,000, which is a winning school, you get $10,000, you are very, very far from breaking even. Any more questions, any more concerns?
We'll leave the questions for a different day on my side.
Anytime, sir. Anytime. You're always welcome. Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Afternoon, everybody. So I have two questions. The first question is, so Intercol will be held over a 3-day period, as was the case in 2024. On which day will the Classic Lighting Caribbean March Past competition be held? So I'll await a response to that question.
Okay, well, I could answer right now. The first 2 days, that will be the 8th and the 9th of April.
Okay. And so what I want to understand, which part of the structuring of the 3 days will the March Past competition be held? Is there a specific time, for example, the intermission period, outside of intermission? What's the plan?
It will be the same as we did last year, during the intermission period, yes.
For 2 days or 3 days?
Yes, the first 2 days, yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what's the plan for intermission on the third day?
The plan for intermission?
Keeping in mind that we want to keep interest in the Intercol Championships during the intermission period? What's the plan for that period?
I have to smile at this because hold on. The third day, we don't have to do anything for interest. Last year, I entered the stadium about 7. I'm the events manager. And I entered the stadium last year about 7:30. And before 8 o'clock, I was seeing very long lines to enter the stadium. So that's why I said earlier, and I spoke to the minister about it, on the third day, we have to try to expand the stadium. So on the third day, I would assure you, we don't have to do anything to generate interest among anyone.
So just to be clear, you're saying for the intermission period on the third day, there'll be no specific event
You see, the intermission on the third day would be shorter than the first 2 days because at the end of the third day, we're having a closing ceremony. Okay? We'll be having a closing ceremony on the third day. The first 2 days, there is no closing ceremony. We just have intermission. So we'll make up some of the time here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if people can recall, last year we had a group of dancers, you remember? And we had some young soca artists from the Sister Isle coming in to give us entertainment. This year, once again, we're working towards, not the soca artists this time, but having that collaborative mass movement dancers to entertain, even though it's short, because it's just a few minutes for that part of the entertainment. We're working towards that, having them entertain on the third day again.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Dubuset?
Yes. Good afternoon to everyone. I commend GAPS on today's launch. One question I have, and I go back to Dr. Jeffrey's reference to sponsors, the appreciation of sponsors. And I think the schools that do have title sponsors, or sponsors generally, to support their preparation, one of the things that they look forward to is some level of recognition on the days of competition. And I know sometimes that has gone well, and I think particularly last year there were some issues. And so I just want to know what is in place to ensure that sponsors, title sponsors or other sponsors, in partnership with schools, what policy has been put in place, if any, to ensure that there is appreciation expressed to the sponsors over the days of competition and fairness in that recognition.
Just before we answer, when you speak about issues, what are you referring to?
I think last year there were, because of a certain school experienced difficulty in terms of having their sponsors recognized, because I think there appeared to be some measure of clash to financial institutions and so. So I don't want to necessarily ponder too much on that. I think I want to look at accentuate the positive in terms of this year. What is in place to ensure that there is appreciation expressed of sponsors throughout the days of competition, whether it is that in terms of the announcer stating that specifically, or during recognition when awards and so, medals and so is given.
All right, thank you, sir. In 2025, we will not be having this issue because remember, the IMA and the government of Grenada is our title sponsor. What you're referring to was an issue we have for many different years, where, if your sponsor is a bank, then credit union and other financial institution, they were very upset, these persons getting recognition. We also will be having a special section for the sponsors of the different schools. They would be housed and they would also be recognized during the 3 days.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Just one follow-up. So they would also be permitted to have feather banners and so forth at
Yes,
specific
but
points,
there's
specific location.
If you notice, we spoke about gold, platinum, silver, etc., etc. So based on the value of your contributions, then that will determine if you could have feather banners and how much you would have.
But that contribution is not necessarily in terms of title sponsor.
You mean you're referring to the school sponsor?
Yes, school sponsor.
If your school sponsor could place...
In terms of, if there would be specific locations that would be allowed.
Mrs. Jeffrey or Mr. Sponsor? Mr. Sponsor?
Mr. Dubuisset, I'm going to respond to you in the context as my role as a treasurer of both GAPS and GSSGA. And Mr. Kado, next time you have those questions, wait for us to meet in a different forum. I know that was deliberate. It's all right. I'm speaking to Mr. Dubuisset now. Right, as I was saying, financial. Intercol has part of the revenue stream from Intercol, so there are 4 to 5 revenue streams that Intercol would rely on to cover the very hefty cost of the games. One being our main or title sponsor. 2 would be the other sponsors of the various categories: diamond, platinum, gold, silver, bronze, contribution. There's even a level where you're just a contribution based on what you're giving, and it's cash and kind. 3 would be the ticket money collected at the gate, done mostly on day 3. 4 would be, which is something we've only introduced within the last couple of years, the selling of media rights to gain some revenues in that. And those would be more, and then your vendors will have, it's a little limited, but your vendors would also give some revenue stream. So these are the areas that Intercol is able to recoup any funds to be able to fund the cost of Intercol. Back to the question you're asking about sponsorship. No, the sponsors that Intercol will get revenues from are the sponsors who actually pay for things as part of it. So let's take, for example, Government of Grenada. Government of Grenada, by the minister's pronouncement today, this year, and in my involvement at this level, so at the executive level, that's about 10 plus years now. This is not probably, it is very much the largest contribution that we've ever received towards the Intercol Games in this year. Absolutely the largest. I will go a step further. It is almost 3 times what our last title sponsor gave. So I want to give you context as to how that works and how that eases the burden in being able to afford Intercol in this year and with the cost of things. Now, when government does that, that's cash. I'm coming to you, so I'm giving you context so that it clarifies some other questions that persons may not ask, but they're curious about. Government also, and in fairness to this government, I have to say it, not just this government, but every government over the years, there is also a large component of kind that comes from the government through both ministries, 3 ministries, ministries of sport, education, and health, because there's a large number of volunteers and officials who officiate at these games, and they are given time release to officiate at these games. So they're not paid to come for the 3 days. Yes, we have to clothe them. Yes, we have to feed them. Yes, we've been in transportation for them in the last couple of years. But that is a cost that the government absorbs because they are given time release. So I consider that contribution in kind and sponsorship in kind. I'm getting to you right now. Hold on. I'm coming to you, so I'm clearing it up. Those are the levels of sponsorship that then directly impact Intercol. What you are speaking about, and I presume from the school on the hill, the main schools, those sponsorships come to Intercol directly to the schools. We absolutely appreciate the critical role these school sponsors play in getting the schools to Intercol. So you can appreciate, giving these schools the ability to advertise, to brand at Intercol, is a conversation that has to be had, but it cannot be without parameters, in fairness to the direct sponsors who sponsored Intercol. What we've considered this year, if you recall, this particular year, what we've considered is in treating with our sponsors, our school sponsors, slightly differently in how we accommodate for them. And that's not a no conversation. That's a decision of the Principals Association made, could be last month. So that's something we came into this launch knowing that this year, how we treat with our sponsors, first and foremost, we will then address them differently in how we accommodate them. Branding is a separate conversation because they do get to do their branding through the athletes' clothing and all of that. What we don't want necessarily is ambush marketing happening at the very same time, if you can appreciate that. I don't know if that helps clear the question.
What that does, it goes back to the situation I spoke of last year, where there is seemingly a conflict. I piggyback on what Dr. Jeffrey mentioned in expressing appreciation to the sponsors of schools in preparation, ensuring that athletes are prepared for Intercol. Right? Without the athletes, there would not be Intercol. Sponsors, and I think Mr. Chairman spoke also about the high cost of getting to Intercol. So I'm saying that on the issue of, and I based on what I am aware of, what is required from the title sponsors of schools who help in the preparation, is basically the recognition would be in terms of uniform and giving recognition through the commentators and so forth. The other thing I asked specifically, and I'm saying my question is qualified in the sense that I'm saying, is there any controlled, any particular location? So I'm not saying that this is something that these title sponsors of school are competing with the major sponsors. I'm just asking if anything has been put in place to ensure that there is appreciation and also fair recognition of sponsors at the upcoming Intercol, and that we should not be going into Intercol and there is no clear definition of that, because that was a problem last year, and I think we want to ensure that all who contribute to Intercol significantly, and that includes school sponsors, whether title or without that title, just supporting schools, to get to Intercol, that they are shown appreciation on the days of competition and fair recognition. I was just trying to find out whether the GAPS have clarified that and given specifics as it relates to what would be afforded.
Understood. And as we said, we have already made a decision prior to this launch that in this year, these school sponsors will be accommodated slightly differently into actual persons, so your GMs and your MDs and those kinds of persons within, throughout the days of Intercol, housed properly, accommodated properly. That was one step. Be mindful that these school sponsors also get their mileage through their uniforms, their logos on the uniforms, when their schools are announced, those kinds of things. So the mileage is given, and there are other opportunities that we can continue to explore with conversation. Yeah?
So feather banners are not included
With
in that
conversation.
in this current conversation.
We can have a conversation.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
All right, it seems like we have exhausted our time. Dr. Jeffrey? Yes.
Before we depart, there is an exciting addition for this year again that we must share with you. So we are going to have, I know we've had it before, but we're having it in a different way. We're going to have a torch run. We're going to be passing around the torch or the torches during the 2 weeks leading up to Intercol. We will be starting on the sister isle of Carriacou with our 2 schools there on the 20th and the 21st. This will follow where some representatives from those schools will pass the torches on to the schools on the mainland. The two schools that would begin on the mainland are the Grenada Boys Secondary School and the Anglican High School. What will happen is that at each handover, we will have 6 athletes engaged. If it's a single-sex school, 6 athletes engaged. That would be the school delivering and the school receiving. So the torchbearer, supported by 2 other athletes, they would all be dressed in their track uniforms. And to collect, we would have another 3, 1 receiving the torch, who will be the torchbearer for that school, and 2 supporting. We will have a 5 minutes run to get to the school that is receiving. And we've made internal, we've discussed internally that we're going to do our internal documentation, our internal capturing of those events. But we invite the media who is here with us this afternoon to be a part of this very exciting, I know it's going to be a very good way of building up the momentum for the Intercol Games. So we invite you, Mr. Cado and all the other media personnel that are here with us this afternoon, to be a part of this activity. So we're starting in Carriacou on the 20th. So on the 20th to the 21st, we will see Carriacou's leg happening. Then on the 24th, we will have the Anglican High School and the GBSS. And then they will deliver to PBC and St. Joseph's Convent, St. George's. Then we move on to other schools. I can't go through the entire list right now, but we can share the list with you, the media, so that you know. The plan is to have each leg happening at around 9 in the morning. We would have, because of the time and the number of schools, we will have 2 happening. So you have the delivery on the Monday to the school that would receive. The school that would receive around, so the first school would receive around 9, the second school would receive around 12. And the torch would remain at the school that received second for the remainder of the day, and then that school would take it the next day to another school. All right? And that's what we would do until we're ended. And the last leg, although it would be a comeback, but the last legs would be at the St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary School and the St. David's Catholic Secondary School. That would be the males at SAS, the female at St. David's Catholic Secondary. We would then bring down the torch, and then the torches, and then we would light the 1 torch for the Intercol Games on the day of Intercol. All right? Right, so that's what I said. We were planning to do our internal coverage. But if there are media personnel that want to volunteer to capture, we will appreciate that very much. Okay? So today, Carriacou will be going up with their torches. We have them there for them. Thank you.
Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your indulgence. I'd just like to inform you that at the end we have some refreshments at the back, and you could use the time to do some networking. Have a pleasant evening, everyone. Thanks for coming.